to the Bent Motorsports Podcast with the owner of Bent Motorsports, David Beckett, and his crew, Jacob Hunsinger, James Hernandez, and Jake Russo. Listen in as the guys discuss all things motorsports, including tech tips and current shop projects.
Checkity check.
What do you need help with?
Hooker and Oceanside.
Hello, test. 1, 2. All right, that's good.
You
All right.
might have
Dude,
to.
shut it.
You may
St.
have
Louis
to-
Obispo.
Welcome to the Bent
That's the
Motorsports
wrong way.
Podcast. We're coming to you from the Rubicon Trail,
Oh.
and everybody's telling us about their trail day. Who's got the best story of the day?
Shauna.
Shauna's for sure got the best
Oh.
story of the day. Hand her the microphone. Sorry about any of the audio, everybody. We're in the middle of nowhere trying to do this.
Got the ass pucker.
So what exactly happened?
Gotta walk them through it.
You gotta
Yeah,
walk
you got
through
to. This is definitely not a video. This is audio. So you got to paint us a picture of what happened, what the leading up to it, and
Shots fired already.
Hey, you gotta man up when you're on the Rubicon, man.
Stuff. How many times did you break down? 3 times a day? Maybe.
that's not a
That is
lot.
not accurate. That is not accurate.
Anyways, had a little bit of help, but I think I almost rolled. Brian was there. Yeah.
You couldn't see. You were
Mhm.
following me. Everything was fine.
It was. You
right?
got through
And
it
as soon
fine.
as I left you, right? You couldn't do
Mhm.
it on your own.
Almost rolled the thing. My brand new, pretty Jeep.
Yeah, what years?
Uh-huh.
Let's get some idea. What you got? What year is that?
2016 Rubicon.
2016 Rubicon. What kind of upgrades do you have on it?
I powder coated the underneath red, which it's all
Okay,
scraped off.
so that's
and
not.
left.
We're not going to consider that. No, don't even. Okay, paint color is not.
The underneath is powder
Made
coated
it
red.
pretty.
And okay, everybody who's listening out there, we just met these people, so for sure that's.
Want to look good.
So we almost got to see the underneath.
So we'll just edit that part out.
Oh, I have a Rubicon Express 35s.
35 inch.
Yeah,
Toyos.
see, no, that's modifications. That's
Mhm.
good.
Yeah.
And do you have anything other than stock skid plates underneath it?
No, just stock.
Okay, sweet.
Yeah,
And
but
then
it,
Brian led you down a hill and got you nose heavy or something and almost went ass over tea kettle, right?
sideways.
Sideways tip.
Got on the side. Yeah. I just let go of the steering wheel and held the roof, so I don't even know what happened from
Shit,
that point
that's
on.
pretty deep.
And I did feel so bad I tried to catch it.
You did.
I did try to catch it.
Technically, he said, "Don't take my line." He said, "Go the other way." Still didn't work.
What about anybody else have any close calls?
Yeah, Brian's got one here. He had an ass pucker.
You gotta say it like you did on the trail, though.
You gotta describe it.
All right, I just met these guys, and I've had some time out doing a lot of off-road trips, but these sons of bitches, they want to go straight down a goddamn hill to the point where the back end of my Jeep wants to come over the front end of my Jeep. Driving the same thing, 2014 Rubicon, lifted 4 inches, 35s, and I swear to God, this thing, we get down to the bottom of this, and I tore a 3.5 by 3.5 patch of cloth out of the fucking seat of my Jeep with my asshole. So now I've got wadding in my ass. It's like a fucking musket. And they fed me beans. And they fed me brisket. This thing's going to shoot out of here.
Fucking rad.
In the already full.
There you go.
gear.
We'll report that tomorrow.
Yeah, this is. I mean, for our group of guys, this is our first time on the Rubicon. We've been talking about going here, and of course, it's living up to everything I think we all expected, right? I mean, it's pretty rad out here. I've decided I really don't like being sideways in my Jeep, especially on some slickery granite with a huge cliff. But you know, whatever. I'll get used to it, I suppose, right? I'm a sissy. I got through it.
Good thing you didn't take the rock I took.
Yeah, no, I'm glad I didn't go down. I went around that. I went a different way.
David,
What?
I'm just curious, though. Was it looking at the red paint under the Jeep that scared you, or?
Yeah, the whole underside of that Jeep is powder coated red.
That is a story.
And how many miles have we gone? We've been on the trail since 8:30 this morning. We started on the trail, and we stopped. I don't remember what time. 6 or 6:30. And how many miles have we gone? 6 miles.
5, 6.
5.5, 6 miles. It's a rough 5.5, 6 miles. We watched people go up Soup Bowl. First guy we watched to go up bent a tie rod. So far, he had to bend it back with his winch. But we've seen him on the trail. He's continued on. And then we found another group that was behind us. And when Ken broke down with the fuel pump, they broke down and had to actually weld something.
It's just sad. Oh,
Oh, the Mahindra.
Oh, the Mahindra on 30s.
Yeah.
Ooh, I got
yeah,
a good
sticker for that.
You can take a freaking cross trek up here if you can get this shit.
Well, we had a.
Even Bill could
Scout
do this
got
shit,
a
man.
sticker
We got a motorcycle.
Yeah, we got the motorcycle guy.
because they pulled
Group of
the
side-by-sides came through.
Yeah, there's like 3 or 4 of them.
Maharaja.
Really? There was side by sides?
Mahindra?
Oh, a couple.
I was probably laying under the Scout at the time.
No. I was up front.
They look a little
I
more
was
like Odyssey.
leading.
They weren't the Razors. They were more
All right. Sick.
David, I feel like you need to expand on my talking about my fuel pump.
It's a piece of shit.
Oh, yeah. So,
That's poor installation.
Yeah, apparently.
Yep, so we got to figure that out, right? Because what is the brand of the fuel pump that we put in that tank?
It's a hyperfuel.
Are you fucking serious? What is that?
I don't know. That's what Phytech spec'd out. That's who supplied Phytech's fuel pumps.
Everybody.
Who?
They make the best.
They missed that.
Ken got the Amazon special.
Dude, because it was the only thing. And it was then ultimately what they spec'd out. So how could I go wrong with the actual spec?
Every time.
Every time.
Every time.
Well,
Every kid.
the
Every
Phytech.
installation.
We ran into some guys. We ran into a group of vintage Bronco guys, and they were from all over. There
Look
was
just
a
like
couple
this
of
guy.
guys from Southern California, but one of the guys in the group is a truck driver, and he brought, I don't know how many vehicles he brought from the East Coast, but 2 or 3 of those guys were from like Boston and Pennsylvania. Said so. Anyway, New England area, and he made a comment that Phytech is no good on a 4-wheel drive because the CPU is mounted to the throttle body, which is sitting right on the manifold. It's taking all the heat.
That's
No,
true.
we're talking
That's
about
true. And I mean, multi-port fuel injection is always going to be better, and I think those are the kits that they're aiming towards as well, because you can make a lot more power and they're more efficient as compared to your TBI.
Yeah, but that's not an option.
They don't make a kit for yours,
No,
or
of
not
course
for not for a.
Not for
well,
international.
they're running Ford motors though, right? Most of the guys running these Phytechs and shit.
I don't have any idea what most of the guys with Phytechs are running.
I heard they were kind of squared off toward the Ford market.
I don't know. Apparently, I don't know what kind of motor runs 19,000 RPMs.
They're good for all applications. Come on. F1, all that shit.
I mean, everything that you do after a carburetor is a Band-Aid unless you're going to do, like,
Full
ported fuel injection, right? So what's the best setup? We've put atomic EFIs on things. We're not happy with them. We've done a couple of we've dealt with a couple of the Phytechs, and they've been better than the atomics. But now you haven't had any good luck with that thing since the day it was put on there.
No.
And
I had to flash that thing, I don't know,
8,
8-10 times today.
And I'm not sure that the customer service for them is anything to scream about either. They keep telling us to check the fucking grounds. It's like, dude, you tell me to check another ground, I'm going to drive down there and punch you in the mouth.
They're all sealed. They're all brand new, perfect.
Well, the last time I sent my log in, he's like, "Whoa, that log was awful small." Like, yeah, dude, I
Can't keep it running long enough.
can't keep it running long enough, and I don't know what else to say. It didn't log anything before that first log.
But it didn't shut off on you while you were climbing an obstacle, though, right? Like the
Yeah,
carburetor would have.
No, it stalled. It shut me down today.
Well, you were flat though, right? It
No,
wasn't. You weren't
no,
climbing
I was
something.
downhill. I was going downhill, and I was going uphill the first time it happened. Right? It wasn't even uphill. It was just a little obstacle. And I was propped up, and that's when the fuel pump died.
Got it.
So was it
And
the
then-
fuel pump or the?
No, so the fuel pump that's in the tank, a brand new fuel pump that is recommended by Vitec, we put in the tank, and it fried. 3 miles into this trip,
Yep.
right? I mean,
Done.
literally, right? And then, luckily we left the backup
Well,
pump, the pump that was in the vehicle.
600 miles right in, and then 3 miles into the trail.
Right. Okay. Yeah. So to be fair, it drove 600 miles up here, but then only 3 miles on the trail. But luckily, we left the inline fuel pump that was on the frame rail in there, so we just switched over to that, and then we're back on the road again. But
It's gonna be mind-numbing on the way back, by the way.
yeah, that thing is
It's gonna be
noisy.
nice, man.
That is the most obscene. I mean, Eddie's
the mosquito.
fuel pump on his Scout was something to be said, but man, this thing is.
Yeah, you won't be able to hear it with the wind noise and your headphones on and everything.
I think the bigger problem is we got to figure out why your power steering decided to take all the fluid out of itself.
Yeah, maybe one of the low pressure lines came loose, or one of the hose clamps.
Well, any
Please.
bets on how many times we're gonna have to stop for letting it cool off on the way back?
Ugh, I don't want to talk about that.
So does anybody have a part of the trail that we've done so far? So we made it to, what is this lake called?
Buck Island.
So we're Buck Island, or that's where we started at Loon Lake, and now we're at Buck Island. So far on the trip, what is anybody's favorite spot that they thought was kind of the most exciting, or maybe they're happy they actually got it through without completely shitting the bed? Yeah, let's start with Brian. He's the ringleader.
What are you driving?
2013 two-door Jeep Wrangler. Have a 4-inch Mopar lift. 35s.
Lots of skid plates underneath.
Very skid plated.
So what was the obstacle today, or the area today, that you were most happy with? Tough one, huh?
Yeah. I can't get past Shauna almost rolling over. I mean, if I'm happy, that's where I was happy, because she didn't roll over.
There you go. All right, that works.
She didn't crush me trying
That's
to
fair.
catch the Jeep.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, so it's just kind of front and center right now.
About you,
That
Ken?
was a scary area.
Well, tell us a little bit about your Scout a little bit more before you say.
Well, yeah, for those that don't remember, I drive a 71 International Scout 2, and it's stock drivetrain, not original, but it's 345, 727 transmission, and a Dana 300. Just before the trip, 2 days before the trip, I finished putting the
2 hours before the trip.
No, but I finished putting the rebuilding the transfer case, put the Terra Low kit in it, which the instructions are missing some details.
I'm so surprised that you're here.
But I did the twin stick upgrade on it, and that's been fantastic. That part has been right on. It's sprung over, so stock suspension sprung over on the axles, and I'm running 35s. I think the trail has definitely lived up to my expectations, and I think the Little Sleuth so far was
A party.
That was pretty badass.
Yeah.
I think
You almost rolled there, or you almost went on your side.
Dude, I was
He
like,
slammed he slammed
Oh,
into the side of a rock.
yeah, and Brian said no, and I thought I was into the sheet metal, and I'm like, oh, you gotta be kidding me, and it wasn't. Didn't get anything. Didn't chip paint.
And then Brian went through there and bashed around through it, and then I was like, oh, forget this shit, man. I'm going around. And then peer pressure. Nope, go through it. So I go through the fucking thing and
So
bash
proud of
my
you.
Jeep.
Yes.
Yeah.
You
Just
broke.
say no, everybody.
All it took was 1 second, and he was like, "Oh fuck yeah, all right."
Yeah, I'm like, dude,
Let's
fuck
do
these
it.
assholes. They're gonna ride my ass the whole rest of the trip if I don't go through this.
We talked about this before we came up, man. We didn't drive all this way to skip obstacles.
Yeah, no, I agree. But when I am watching you two for a half an hour, like fuck a rock, and then potentially bash the sheet metal against the side of the rock.
That long.
Wait, technically, you
Dude.
guys skipped that one obstacle,
I don't know.
that really scary one. What was that one? The one that,
Yeah,
you guys
well,
technically
yeah.
missed that one.
We went past Super Bowl. I think we had all agreed before we came up we were going to pass that because that one's just crazy, right? I think
How
you
many
gotta be on,
videos with things falling over, vehicles flipped on that one?
Look, here's when you guys were on Little Sleuth. There's the bypass, right? Brian took the bypass. He went around. Sorry, we'll delete that out. Hang on. He definitely did not go around it. There was a whole group of like legit Jeepers behind us with like legit rock crawlers. We're like, fuck it, man. They went around it. And maybe it was because we were clogging up the toilet there and not letting them through.
Maybe.
Like they wanted to come get a prime camp spot, maybe. But I'm like, man, those guys are going around it. What are we doing?
So today's, I don't remember what the date is. 15th?
Shit.
Monday, anyway. My hydraulic steer, my hydraulic assist, showed up at my house today. It was supposed to be there Friday and would have been installed for the trip. But that's the part that has made it really tough is the steering, not being able to steer where my spotter is asking me to put my tire. I can't do it. It makes the obstacles 10 times harder.
Well, that and the fact that when you push on the brakes, nothing really happens until your foot is like the pedal is like maybe an inch from the
Not even an inch.
floorboard. It finally starts to stop a little. So the brakes, I know you got the Hydro Boost brake system that should have been installed as well.
I didn't want to cut into the system more than once.
Yeah.
If I'm doing it, then I'll do it all together.
Yeah. What about you, Jake? Anything that you remember from me driving?
Probably just a little sluice, you know. Everybody's talked it up so much, and then it's like, okay, yeah, we can do this. This is good.
And we went through it pretty good, right? It only took us, after watching these two guys do it, it's like, and then I missed completely the line that Brian was telling me to go. Brian's like, go right here, and my tire slid off.
Nope.
And then he's like, okay, and then I just gave it gas, and he's like, all right, fuck it, do whatever you want. And I just smashed through it. I'm like, I'm not going to be stuck in here forever. I'm not going to back up. I'm going to smash it. I'm going to just smash it and get it done.
Well, that's how Ken gets through it. So
Right.
just get out of the way at that point.
It works
Yeah.
for him.
So it worked out real good for us, I guess. We'll see. Nothing's dripping out of it yet. Yeah, it's all gone. It's all been dripped out. What
Talking about
Marty?
mine now.
Hey, what about you, Marty? Hang on. Marty just threw his microphone at me. What a dick.
Stepping on it.
All right, I'm back.
Shit.
Marty's back.
I don't know. I mean, a lot of it was a lot of fun. I don't like all the off. Oh, sorry. 05 Wrangler Rubicon, 35s, and I have the Atlas transfer case.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Twin stick.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
That's all right. Marty.
Twin stick, yes.
I noticed Marty later in the day. You could tell Marty really wanted a beer and some brisket because he was just normally Marty's very calculated. He'll get out and look at an obstacle. He'll make sure he's comfortable with it. He was just fucking hammering.
Yeah.
Like just hammering.
Yeah, let's go.
Like didn't care.
I'm done. I'm
Yeah,
ready
it
for my
was
beer.
rad.
But I didn't like all the off-camera stuff. I did like a lot of the drop-offs were a lot of fun, where you're just all of a sudden you're staring straight down
No,
or
you
staring straight up, and then there was I got to do my walk the Jeep around the rock, disengage the rear axle, and
Oh yeah, that was sweet. That was the one thing that we didn't get on dash cam was you doing only the front end.
yeah,
with
that was a lot of
Sorry
fun.
about that.
I had Eddie in the Jeep, and I said, I'm like, Eddie, I'm gonna try something. Just watch this.
It was rad, dude. It worked
was
just
so
like it was
awesome.
supposed to.
It was so much fun.
I don't know. You put doors on a Jeep or on a Scout. You can't see anything. The difference between riding between Marty's Jeep and the Scout was I could lean out and see everything around it and everything. And Marty's can't not much help in the passenger seat. Can't see anything.
Keith, you became like spotter guy. towards the end of today.
Yeah, that was fun.
Spotting everybody.
Especially for me too.
That was fun.
You're a great spotter.
Oh, thanks.
There you go. And what was your memorable moment?
2. So there's one coming down the hill where I don't know if there was the name of it. Where that one where it's a straight up pucker when you're going down. It feels like you're gonna go ass over a tea kettle. What was the name of that thing? Is there a name for it or no?
I think it's just called the Rubicon Trail, man.
Okay, the Rubicon Trail. All right. And the second one would be the rock face. And then the second one would be handing Ken the energy drink from him driving a lane and a half on the freeway because apparently he pays taxes for all the freeway. So he might as well use it all.
Right, yeah. So we were driving here on Sunday from San Diego, and we did all of it in one day. It was like 600 miles.
Exactly.
And there was a spot going on the 5 up through the valley where Ken needed an energy drink. And, it's like 106 degrees. He's no top, no doors. It's like running the heater to keep his engine cool. So Keith rolls up and Brian roll up next to him in the Jeep on the freeway at speed and hand a beverage from one vehicle to another. And me being me thinking, I'm going to be, first of all, I got to get this on dash cam. So I'm going to go ahead and straddle the lanes and drive down the middle of the lanes. And I'm figuring I'm a good Samaritan. If that can eats shit and comes back, it'll hit me and not somebody else, right? And, wait, we shouldn't talk about this in front of the CHP. There's cops near us.
Any comments on that?
There's cops near us.
Got a steady hand. I'm not dropping shit. It's all good.
He didn't see it. It's okay. We won't show him the video.
It's all hypothetical.
Plausible denial. It's all rumor at this point.
No, fuck that. It happened.
Allegedly, that happened.
Yep. It was cool.
Go to my YouTube page and allegedly you'll see it. That was pretty sweet.
Well, I must say that I do like how he went all the way out the window, and then he goes, "Hey, is the door locked?"
And what was great is I think that everybody behind us in traffic, because they came by giving us like thumbs up, shaking their heads. Yeah. I think they thought you were handing them like a beer, like it was like a road soda, right? Like they're throwing beers back and forth. This is great. That's probably why we had that unmarked car come and follow us for a while. And Ken's all over the fucking road, right? Because he's got this Scout that doesn't drive straight. So we're watching him, and he gets the little rumble things, right? And then he'd go back in. And he'd go, I swear he's going to get pulled over for being drunk. And I said, Ken, that thing's all over the road. He goes, yeah, I don't fight it. You get tired, so you just let it do what it's going to do. It just goes. One time, we were going past the big rig. You were passing the big rig, and you were in the fast lane. And you almost got 2 tires in the dirt. But you caught it in time. I thought, this is where Ken gets in the dirt, catches it, overcorrects, right into the side of the Kenworth.
Yes.
No, he didn't. Pulled it off. All right, round the circle. What was your favorite moment? Either one of you.
We'll go back. Well,
they were both. You got.
Well, aside from realizing that my Jeep can completely go on its side without flipping over, aside from that little story, the entire trail, I'm learning a lot. This is my kind of first time on the Rubicon and doing a lot of technical stuff. But it's been great. Little sloughs. Is that what it's called? It was great.
Sounds right.
I did miss the crazy part where the Scout kicked butt. You did throw your. I have to point out that the Scout is great when you get thrown into a rock. No damage, no scratches, nothing. Saw that several times. The tank. Yeah. But
missed the obstacle
or
went around?
I did miss that one, the large one, the crazy boulder part. I went up the side steep cliff. Thought I was gonna flip. Some of us did, but yeah, but no, it's been good. Been learning a lot. Yeah. Doing all kinds of stuff. But
and how about
Vanessa,
your passenger?
My little passenger.
Yeah.
I've got to say that pretty much the whole day was like the most badass thing that I've ever done. Because I've never been jeeping before. I liked going through the water. That was kind of cool.
The water was pretty rad.
There's a couple of water spots.
Wasn't this last one really neat because it wasn't like mud water. You could actually see the rocks. That was
so
nice
clear.
Yeah.
So we drove through it.
Yeah,
isn't that when the Scout took a dump?
I liked seeing that guy break his car on the soup. What was it called? The little
soup bowl.
Soup bowl.
Yeah, soup bowl. Yeah, he got up it, but he bent the crap out of it. Yeah, I did. Okay, so there was one spot that we were watching you spot. It was rad because you're up there and you're like, you should go to like the driver's side or whatever you want. Just or that way. And I'm like, hey, man, at least she's up there doing it. You know what I mean? At least she's doing it.
My favorite part is right before the water. She said, passenger side. And then she's like, no, I think I meant driver. No, maybe passenger. No, maybe driver. She kept going back and forth. And she's like, I don't even know what I'm talking about.
I was saying passenger, but I meant driver.
Got it. So you knew what you wanted to say.
I have it all on film, actually.
We're doing good. We're having fun. Listen to good music, too.
During.
I don't have any vodka.
You guys weren't drinking and driving, were you? Okay.
She's the passenger.
She was.
It's too bumpy.
I can't get my Audi over the driveway without hitting the bottom, so.
How about you, Brian? Well, you already had your pucker moment. You told us all about that.
I did.
Was there
Still
anything better?
thinking about the cloth at the moment, but I think the most, the best impression of me today was going through the whalebones obstacle. At the very end, there's a incline section where you go up a granite face. I enjoyed that. That was fun. It was to see what your Jeep can do. Again, it's a 14 Rubicon 35s. It just crawls right up that.
You went straight up that too. Like that thing didn't even hesitate.
No, it was great. It's nice to see, what you can do with traction, airing down your tires. It was a lot of fun doing that. And I will point out though, I had another fabulous moment today. Something that most people don't get to experience because, they're not as badass, but there's a bypass that goes around Little Sleuth. Gorgeous scenery up there. I mean, I got to tell you, you're on the top of the world. Everybody else is down in a canyon, and you're up on top of a mountain going, this is badass. Then we got hiked around for a little while, and then I came back and hiked and saw you guys. But
it's still in the sloughs. Yep.
Still in the sloughs.
You got time for a hike, everybody.
Yeah, time for a hike and a cigar. So it was good. But the whalebones, the little granite incline there was fantastic.
Yeah, that was a fun little thing right there. That was after coming. What do they call that in the beginning? The granite. Yeah, was that granite?
We got gatekeeper, and then you come through the bowl.
Yeah, that was. I like that granite thing. That was kind of a for an introduction to this place, right? You get to see that stuff right.
And it was kind of nice to see where, the scouts had been before.
Yeah, there was a clear trail of oil where other internationals.
Don't forget the red powder coat too.
Yeah,
red powder coating everywhere.
Let me just clarify. It wasn't from me.
No, Ken, yours is right here over the dam.
Yes.
When you cross the dam, you can see where Ken was. Right there.
This last section, the creek bed that we went through.
Yeah, what is that called? You come down? What do they call? I heard somebody call that the slabs or something. You come down the slabs, and then you get to the bottom. Whatever this was, it was kind of fun.
Yeah, last section of boulders.
Anything off camber, boy, downhill off camber.
On that slick granite
Was
sketchy.
I gotta say, the only thing that kept me going was the fact that I had the 4 to 1 and get a low enough range where, all right, if things go south, I've got low range.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was. My Jeep ran pretty good all day, but then right there at the end, for some reason, I mean, back when I raced cars, you would get brake fade, right? And it was overheating. You're boiling fluid. You're overheating rotors. You're doing. My brakes were like fading at the end of the day. I'm like, why are my brakes fading? I'm traveling at an average speed of we averaged it today on a GPS. What did we hit? 0.3?
0.37.
0.37 was our average speed. How did I overheat my brakes? And so we're going down these huge slabs, and I'm like, I don't know, Jake, it's all the way to the floor, man. We're just going to go down. And
I was doing the same thing.
Right? Was it happening to yours?
Yelled at. Everybody's like, slow. And I'm like, I am. Literally am.
Yeah, right? I'm like, it's
to
going.
the floor.
Yeah, it's going to the floor. And we're like coming over these little ridges where you've got to be very slow and let the front of your Jeep just step off this thing. And they're like, go slow. And I'm like, boom. I'm like, I'm sorry, man. I'm all the way on the brakes. So, I don't know. I'm glad we're doing this in 2 days because it'll give my brakes a chance to settle down. I for sure need a big brake kit.
Yeah, that's the truth.
Maybe that's the upgrade. Maybe she needs a big brake kit too.
Yep.
Because, Brian, you probably didn't have any problems, huh?
My bumper has been taking some beating.
I think so. I think I was pretty good. Yeah, that's fine. I could stop.
Yeah, I definitely got to get a big brake kit.
What you get?
Maybe I'll powder coat them red or something.
Give you the part number.
The red looks good.
That's when you're going fast.
It will be now. And then what do we got tomorrow, guys? We got like a few more miles. Like right, tomorrow's not too bad, right? Cadillac Hill and then some fire roads, and then the Cadillac's still there. We should try to find it.
We're not even two big sleuths, are we?
Yeah, I don't know. Did we just pass it?
Well,
Okay.
We bypassed.
We passed Old Big Sluice. I
don't
think
know
there is still a Big Sluice ahead of us.
I don't know what the difference is. So everybody out there who's listening, who's done it, just forgive us. This is our first time. So if you're judging us, then we're judging you too. I hate it here.
What are those people doing?
They probably walked across the dam.
That was not easy.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, what was your favorite part?
Mine?
Yeah.
Well, let's see. I have a lot of favorite parts. So to start it out, a couple of things I'm thankful for is that my Jeep's at home sitting in the garage.
Nice and safe and unscratched.
Nice and safe. And I heard a lot of clanking and clinging and scratching and rubber burning and all kinds of stuff today. And so we at least have to have one Jeep in good shape by the time we get home. And second to that, the best part was that every time one of us broke down, it was always in a great spot, either by water, shade. We got pretty darn lucky on a granite slab.
Yeah,
but
that was
we got
real lucky.
We got pretty lucky. So, and then let's see. I would say that I enjoyed all of it, actually. I think the biggest part is that normally I'm behind the wheel and I've been able to get out and get a lot of pictures of everybody doing things that's challenging them to get through the course. And I would recommend that people come out here and do this. It makes it fun. I want to motherfuck the assholes that come out here because they want to bash their shit up and move fast and do all that. Go find somewhere else to go.
Yeah, right. This is supposed to be, just go and have a good time.
Supposed to come out here and have fun and enjoy the scenery.
Help everybody get through and just have a good time.
I agree.
So far, though, everybody's been pretty legit, on the trail.
Nobody's been too aggressive. I mean,
dicks at least.
Yeah, too bitchy, right? I don't know. Yeah, that was revving up real bad.
He was pretty bitchy.
Yeah, we didn't get to see him. We heard him behind you guys when you were getting through that last section.
We went slower when we heard him.
Yeah, I was going to say, I was like, nothing like making me want to slow down other than revving your engine at me. Jesus, where am I going?
He was a dick. And he
Right. Yeah. Well, thanks everybody for sharing your stories. I know we're sitting around the campfire and winding down for the day.
Got a full moon.
The view here is absolutely amazing. We're sitting on a little tiny rock peninsula on this lake, Buck Island Lake, and there's the giant. I don't know if it's full moon, but gosh dang it, dude, that is pretty sweet. Saw a bald eagle fly by earlier. I mean, this is living the dream up here. Yeah, I flew my drone right into a tree.
That'll be on.
That was awesome.
And the drone has crash avoidance.
Yeah, it has collision avoidance. So what happens is I was flying it towards the tree, and the collision avoidance kicked in, which means it takes all the control away from me. And so now it's very precariously close to the tree, and I can't control it. And so then it finally let me control it, but it was coming at me, and I'm an idiot. So I'm like, left is right, right is left. I think this is the right way. Flew right into it, smashed it, fell down to the ground. It's good though, still works. So I'll put that video up. You guys can see it. I'm an idiot.
I'm glad I didn't flip it off when it flew over me.
No, it's all right. I think I caught somebody taking a leak and somebody else changing. So.
Oh,
behind the rock over there?
Nice.
So those will be.
Did you find the pee in this space over there?
Way too close to the water.
Yeah, the pee spot's over there. It's a little close to the water. FYI.
Too close.
It's in some dirt.
Don't drink the water.
How many people pee in the water?
You, apparently.
Apparently, just one. Just one.
Yeah, right.
Oh wait, that's why our water bottles tasted funny.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Thanks. We'll try to do it again tomorrow. If not, then we'll do a recap at the shop, and I'll let you guys know how it all turned out.
Fuck up, Russo.
Yeah.
This has been the Bent Motorsports Podcast. Thanks for listening in. Be sure to give us a follow on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube at Bent Motorsports. Stay updated on the latest happenings, future projects, videos, and events here at the shop. Remember, guys, at Bent Motorsports, bids in stock, we've got it.